Those of us that love and try to obey God have a difficult time understanding how people can be so stubborn to the creator and owner of the universe. But when we read the story of the Pharaoh, we are reminded that there are people who resist God with the same fervor that Satan and his angels resisted God. 5 more times God sent Moses to Pharaoh to tell him to let the people go, and 5 more times Pharaoh said no. During the 6th plague, God cursed all the Egyptian cattle, and they died, but the Israelite cattle lived. Then God told Moses and Aaron, "Take to you handfuls of ashes of the furnace, and let Moses sprinkle it toward the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh, and it shall become small dust in all the land of Egypt, and shall be a boil breaking forth with plagues upon man and upon beast throughout all the land of Egypt." And they took ashes of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh. And Moses sprinkled it up toward heaven, and it became a boil breaking forth with plagues upon man and upon beast. And the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils, for the boil was upon the magicians and upon all the Egyptians. Then God caused it to hail on them. Those that believed God got their cattle and servants inside, but those that didn't saw the promise of God come true. And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and the Lord sent terrible, terrible thunder and hail, and there was fire mingled with the hail, and the hail smote throughout all the land of Egypt, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail smote every herb of the field, and brake every tree of the field. But there was no hail in the land of Goshen, where the children of Israel were. This time Pharaoh told Moses and Aaron, "I have sinned this time. The Lord is righteous. I and my people are wicked. Entreat the Lord, for it is enough that there be no more mighty thunderings and hail, and I will let you go." By this time Moses was on to Pharaoh, and he told him, "I will spread my hands unto the Lord as soon as I leave you, and you will know that the earth belongs to the Lord. But I know that this will not change your heart or the heart of your servants." And that is exactly what happened. As Moses left the city, he spread his hands to the Lord, and the thunders, hail, and rain ceased. But when Pharaoh and his servants saw that it was past, they hardened their hearts and sinned against God, and would not give in to the will of God. In Exodus 10:1, we see that God was actually at work in Pharaoh and Pharaoh's servants, and that God hardened their hearts for on occasion to do all these things, so that God's people would be able to tell the stories to their grandchildren and children, so that we would know God. And Moses and Aaron came in unto the Pharaoh, and said unto him, "Thus saith the Lord God of the Hebrews, How long wilt thou refuse to humble thyself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if thou refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow I will bring the locusts into thy coast, and they shall cover the face of the earth, that one cannot be able to see the earth. And they shall eat the residue of that which is escaped, which remaineth unto you from the hail, and shall eat every tree which groweth for you out of the field. And they shall fill thy houses, and the houses of all thy servants, and the houses of all the Egyptians, which neither thy fathers nor thy fathers' fathers have seen, since the day that they were upon the earth unto this day." And he turned himself and went out from Pharaoh. And Pharaoh's servants said unto them, "How long shall this man be a snare unto us? Let the men go, that they may serve the Lord their God. Knowest thou not yet that Egypt is destroyed? And Moses and Aaron were brought again unto Pharaoh, and he said unto them, Go, serve the Lord your God. But who are they that shall go? And Moses said, We will go with our young and with our old, with our sons and with our daughters, with our flocks and with our herds we will go, for we must hold a feast unto the Lord. And Pharaoh said, The men can go. In other words, he would not let the Israelite women and children go into the wilderness with the men to worship God. And Moses and Aaron were driven out from Pharaoh's presence. And God told Moses to stretch out his hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts. And when Moses did it, the Lord brought an east wind upon the land all that day and night, and the wind brought the locusts.